Hey everyone, before we start today's episode, I wanted to give a big shout out to Team United We Stand. This is another Speed Duel YouTuber that is on YouTube, and so his channel is in Italian, and there's more than just one guy, but the main guy that I've spoken with and talked to a lot has been Justice. He's actually the person that made the deck and has the replay for the day's video, so I highly recommend checking out their channel. Everything is in Italian, like they speak Italian, but they have English subtitles. So I'm going to give a small little example real quick. If you see here, it's in English for the subtitles, but for the most part, it's, like I said, in Italian. So I still highly recommend it. And I think the guys are really cool on this channel. I think a lot of their deck lists are really fun to play. This Relinquished deck in general, I was testing before the G Xbox format, and I just had a lot of fun playing it. I think he's very smart. So yeah, I highly recommend, checking out the channel. Without further ado, let's jump right into this video. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on Toxic Gaming today, people. Today, I'm going to be going over Justice from Team United We Stand's DDT deck, Destiny Dude Turbo. So, if you guys don't know what Destiny Dude does, he's a card that lets you excavate the top card of your deck. And if it's a spell card, during your next turn, you can actually activate it from your graveyard. It's not technically activating the spell card itself, so you also don't have to fill the requirements required for these cards. It's a very, very strong card, and with the new skill out, looking into the future, this skill actually lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and rearrange them in any order you want. So this will allow you to stack the spell cards you want to activate to the top of your deck, summon the Diamond Dude, then utilize his effect to send it to the graveyard from the top of your deck and activate your next turn. The only downside to this skill is actually that you can't activate spell cards the turn you summon it, but that doesn't mean you can't activate these guys from your graveyard the same turn. There's a difference between activating a spell card from your hand and then activating a spell effect. And that's what Diamond Dude does, is activate spell effects. So it's very, very good. Highly recommend trying it out at least once. I love the deck. But without further ado, let's jump right into this. It's Triple Diamond Dude. It's the bread and butter of your deck. You won't be playing this card at 3. 1 DD Warrior Lady is in his list, which is really cool. I usually see a lot more DD Warrior Ladies in these types of lists, but I also understand you want to try to get to your Diamond Dude as fast as possible. Exile Force is also being played at 1 in this. And then for the spell cards that we play, because I feel like that's one of the most important parts of this deck, you play Triple Ojama Delta Hurricane. If you guys don't know what this does, it says if you control Ojama Green, Ojama Yellow, and Ojama Black, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Now, because of Diamond Dude's effect, pretty much not making it to where you have to fulfill these requirements, this skill or this card just destroys all cards your opponent controls if you mill it to the graveyard off a Diamond Dude, which is very strong. It is in its own right a Moss out. It's literally an out to every deck in the format. Like, it is so good. You just nuke their field attack for 1400. I love it. We played double Reinforcement of the Army. This card is also very, very strong. You get to search your pieces. More specifically, your Diamond Dude, also DD Warrior Lady. And then you play this really cool card at the beginning of the end, playing it at 3. Now, this card says if you have 7 or more Dark Monsters in your graveyard, which doesn't matter in this deck, bash 5 Dark Monsters in your graveyard and draw 3 cards. So in this deck, this card says draw 3 cards, which is really, really good. Now, what are you trying to draw outside Diamond Dude and DD Warrior Lady in that? Well, you're trying to draw your traps, right? So Rising Energy is a really, really good trap card that came out in the GX box. I like it a lot. I used to use this as, like, a kid. I thought this card was so cool, and it actually really matters in speed duels. It's really cool. You just discard 1 card, target face a monster in the field, and that target gains 1500 attack until the end of this turn. So it's a battle trap that can be used during either yours or your opponent's turn during the damage step, and it's just very strong and can make your Diamond Dude into a menace. It will make him into a 2900 attack point monster, which is crazy. You also play 2 Wall of Disruption. This is another very strong, very, very strong battle trap that came out in the GX box. This card dominates the Duel Links format. I don't know if it still does to this day. I haven't played since Pendulums came out, but it was dominating the Duel Links format for the longest time since its release. And we're probably going to see something very similar to this in Speed Duels. But this card reads, when an opponent monster declares an attack, all attack position monsters your opponent control lose 800 attack for each monster they control. So if they have 3 monsters on the field, they're losing 2400 attack points. All of them are. As long as they're in attack position, they're all losing that amount of attack points. It's very, very good. the last trap on our list is actually going to be Zoma's Spirit. This is a very powerful trap card that summons itself as a monster card, if you guys didn't know. And whenever it's destroyed by battle, it does damage. So keep in mind, like, I hate Zoma. A lot of people in this community also hate Zoma. This card is just too good for the format, but because it's so good, we want to play it at 3. So it's here. For our side deck, it's DD Warrior Lady is going to be at 2. It's going to fulfill the 1 up here. So that's really, really cool that we actually have the other 2 copies sitting inside. That way we can get rid of Spellproof Armor. That's the big one I can think of. Especially if they establish the Jinzo. This is the perfect Jinzo out for it. Next is the Lost Wind. Lost Wind is good for the fusion decks out and about right now, or any deck that kind of special summons, because it just has any of their attacks and negates their effects. Just more specifically, the extra deck summoning decks it's really good against, because it actually can reset itself from your graveyard, but banish it after that. So you get to use these cards up to 2 times a duel. And then Mind Crush is going to be the second card. This is really good against the Cyber Angel deck and any deck that's really comboing right now, because you get to know what they're searching into their hand or anything like that. It's very strong. And it's personally one of my favorite side deck techs, and I'm probably going to be utilizing it more in my decks here soon. And then to end off this, it's going to be the bluff of Arcana Knight Joker and Cyber End Dragon. That's our Waking the Dragon bluff. And that's pretty much all it really is for this deck. But without further ado, I'm going to show you this duel that Justice showcased this deck in. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you subscribe to Team United We Stand. And, you know, subscribe to Untoxic Gaming, because, like, I love to see more of you guys every single day. But mostly United We Stand, because they gave us the deck for the day. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the showcase. Alright, so this is going to be Justice versus Delicates. And I honestly don't know much about, like, how this game went or anything. I just like Diamond Dude Turbo, my buddy, watched this game. You'll probably see him pop up here soon. And was like, hey, here's a replay, and I asked him for his deck list. You should do a deck profile on it. So I had to reach out to Justice and be like, hey, is it cool if I do this? But yeah, I haven't really watched too much of this replay, so it's going to be a whole new experience for all of us. So we got Banded Key skill and Aster's skill. So this is going to be the skill we talked about earlier. This is going to be Spellproof, because he's playing Cyber Dragon, Ally of Justice, Summoners Art, and Allure of Darkness. And then our starting hand is also kind of crazy with the beginning of the end, Ojama Delta Hurricane, Wall Disruption, and Diamond Dude. The opponent uses the Spellproof Armor here, and then summons the Big Bird, passes turn off to the opponent, who draws into the Rising Energy. So we're going to use our skill, banishing the top 3 cards of our deck face down, and then we're going to stack them in whatever order. So we're going to go to next. It looks like he chooses to... I actually have no idea what just happened. He stacked something to the top of his deck, but we saw it was the Ojama Delta Hurricane, another Diamond Dude. I guess we'll leave it as a surprise to see what it comes. Yeah, it's the Hurricane. I figured it would be. And then sets the Rising Energy face down, sets the Wall of Disruption face down, and passes turn off the opponent. He draws into the Summoner's Art and uses the art here. This is, by the way, this is Zayd. This is the guy I was talking about earlier who sent me the replay. Art's going to grab the other Big Bird. And then Big Bird's going to attack into the Diamond Dude. Battle Step is going to activate, or Battle Step, he's going to activate the, or Damage Step. Rising Energy. He's going to discard the other Delta Hurricane, and then gain 1,500 attack points, making Delicates lose 600. Drawing for turn into the other Diamond Dude. Using the skill again. It's going to be double reinforcement of the army. And then Zoma the Spirit. So it looks like he puts Zoma there first and then stacks the other 2 reinforcements on top of each other. Summons the other Diamond Dude. Uses both Diamond Dude's effects and mills both reinforcements, so he gets to add 2 warriors next turn. Enters into battle phase and attacks for 1,400 and 1,400 again, being a total of 2,800 to drop the opponent to 600 life points. Opponent draws into Nobleman of Crossout, uses Allure of Darkness to draw 2, and then banishes the Ally of Justice Colossalus. Uses the Summoner's Art to grab the other Colossalus, or the Big Bird. Sets the Psychic Shockwave, sets the Double Passe, and then summons the Cyber Dragon. And then also, I believe normal summons Ally of Justice Colossalus. Yep. Goes ahead and normal summons that as well. ending the turn there. Scared of the Wall of Disruption, which makes a lot of sense. Passing the turn off to the opponent, he draws into the Zoma. Looks like adding the reinforcements to hand off of the graveyard effects from Diamond Dude, getting both the DD Warrior Ladies. And then banishing the top 3 cards of the deck. Do 2 skill. Looks like we got Zoma, Rising Energy, and Ojama Delta Hurricane. Putting back the Zoma. Rising, and then the Hurricane. Using the Diamond Dude effect here, milling the Hurricane. Because Hurricane can't really activate in this deck because they're unaffected by spell effects due to spellproof. Sets the Zoma face down. Sets another card face down defense position. And passes turn off to the opponent. He draws into another Nobleman. Nobleman's going to activate, banishing the DD Warrior Lady before he can attack. And Delicat admits defeat and sides for the next duel. So I assume he admits defeat because too many trap cards. Alright, so we got the beginning of the end, Reinforcements of the Army, Destiny, Diamond Dude, and Rising Energy. Cyber Energy, Allied Justice Colossalus, and Double Passe, and Summoner's Art. Revealing the skills, it's going to be same skills. Spellproof Armor summons the Big Bird, sets the Double Passe, and then passes turn off to the opponent who draws into the Diamond Dude. Uses the reinforcements here. Going to go ahead and grab the Exiled Force, which is a good grab, especially against this deck in particular. Using Exiled Force to pop the Big Bird, sets the card face down, and passes turn off to the opponent. Draws into the Nobleman, has the Summoner's Art, so he's going to use the Summoner's Art here. Grabs the Big Bird. Summons the Big Bird in attack mode, and then proceeds to, I guess, attack for 23? Yep, attacks for 2300. Dropping Justice down to 1700 life points. Drawing into the next turn for the Wall of D. Activating the skill to look at the top 3 cards of the deck, being Rising Energy and 2 Zoma. That's not too good for the deck. So it looks like he's putting Zoma at the top. Summons the Diamond Dude. Sets 1 card face down. And passes turn off to the opponent. The opponent drew into Mind Crush and set it face down. Going into our turn, we draw into that Zoma. Using the skill once again, looking at the top 3, all again being traps of Rising and Zomas. Looks like we put one Zoma at the top, another Zoma at the top, and now we're putting the Rising to the top. Setting another Zoma face down, setting the Diamond Dude in defense mode, and then passing turn off to the opponent, who's going to knock the Diamond Dude, and then end turn to the opponent. Justice is going to activate the Zoma the Spirit, summoning it to the field in defense mode, and then draw for turn to the other Rising. Using the skill once again, looks like we banish the Zomas and the Rising again. No, not catching a break from these trap cards. So, setting the Rising Energy, switching Zoma to attack mode, and passing turn off to the opponent, who draws into another Cyber Dragon, summons another Ally of Justice Colossalus, and then enters to end phase. Drawing for turn, drawing into the other Zoma, we're going to mill the top 3 again, being the Zoma the Spirit, Rising Energy, and Reinforcements, finally getting another spell card. Probably going, yep, putting the Zoma back, putting the Rising back. Nope, put the Reinforcements back. Probably needs that Rising, that way you can start going for game. Attacks with the Zoma here, but it gives double passe for a direct attack of 1800. And then Rising Energy activates here, causing us to discard 1 the beginning of the end. And then another Rising Energy is going to activate here. The opponent's going to try to Mind Crush and try to call the opponent's card. And he's saying it's a Ojama Delta Hurricane, but we know it's the Zoma here. So, in turn, our player does 4,800 points of damage because of the opponent's double passe allowing him to attack directly, which is crazy to think about. That was so good. All right, so this is like a crazy way to showcase it. Even though he wasn't able to get to the spells as much as he needed to this game, he still was able to continuously stack the deck to get the trap cards he needed, which was really, really strong. The game beforehand, he was actually able to mill off the spell cards that weren't going to do anything against that game, like the Hurricane. The Hurricanes don't do anything to allies to the machine monsters in this deck as a spell proof. So he's just trying to get to his trap cards as fast as possible. That way that he could, out these bigger monsters. It's a really good strategy. It's a really good deck. I highly recommend playing it, especially because Spellproof is such a top contending deck this format. We just saw it beat it. It's very, very strong. Rising Energy is very good. Zoma of Spirit's very good. Wall Disruption's very good. Like these trap cards and Tangent with all these powerful spell cards getting their effects like Delta Hurricane and Beginning of the End and Reinforcements of the Army, being able to search your Diamond Dudes and any other warrior you have in your deck. It makes for a very, very strong and powerful deck, and I highly recommend playing it. But if you guys like this type of content, make sure you like this video. If you like me, make sure you subscribe. If you like this deck, make sure you subscribe to Team United We Stand and give me a shout out on the video. Tell them why you're there. And above all else, I want you all to have a great day. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.